For years men have been fed a story that kept them blind. They've been told men cheat more, that women are naturally loyal, and that if a woman truly loves you, she'll never stray. It sounds comforting, but reality is nothing like the story. The uncomfortable truth is that modern women cheat more than men, and when they do, the damage runs deeper. A man who cheats is usually chasing lust, release, or a temporary thrill. It rarely goes beyond the surface. But when a woman cheats, it almost never stops at the physical. She gives her emotions, her attention, and her heart to another man while still keeping you close as her fallback. That's why her betrayal leaves scars that are harder to heal. Because it's not just her body you lose, it's the part of her that you thought belonged only to you. When you really understand female psychology, you begin to see why this shift has happened. A man's loyalty is often tied to his values, to his sense of duty, and to the principle of staying with the woman he chose even if he's not happy. But a woman's loyalty is not built on duty, it's tied directly to how she feels in the moment. If she feels satisfied, she can be the most loyal partner in the world. But the moment her emotions shift, her loyalty can dissolve. And in today's world, everything around her is designed to pull at her emotions. Social media, entertainment, and constant comparisons give her endless reasons to feel restless. This is why modern women stray more often. They are pulled by feelings, and feelings change like the wind. A man may hold on through unhappiness, but a woman's loyalty can vanish the second her emotions turn. Look closely at the environment women live in today and you'll see why temptation is always nearby. Every time she opens her phone, social media bombards her with images of men who look more exciting, more adventurous, more successful, or more romantic than the man she already has at home. Movies, shows, and online content constantly tell her she deserves never-ending highs, butterflies every day, and attention without limits. So when her reality is stable and consistent rather than thrilling, she doesn't see it as love or security, she starts to label it as settling. She convinces herself that seeking something new isn't betrayal, it's choosing happiness. And once that thought takes root, she begins to justify every step she takes away from you. The danger is that women rarely cheat in obvious ways at first. Their process is subtle, almost invisible if you're not paying attention. It begins emotionally long before it turns physical. She might start giving less energy to you while giving more of it to someone else. She frames it as harmless, he's just a coworker, he's just a friend who listens, but what's really happening is she's investing emotionally outside the relationship. And once her heart starts moving, her body will eventually follow. Women are also naturally skilled at communication, secrecy, and emotional manipulation, which makes them much better at covering their tracks. They don't get sloppy the way men do when they cheat. They get careful, strategic, and patient. That's why so many men never see it coming. They trust blindly, mistake secrecy for innocence, and brush off red flags until they're left blindsided. And by the time the truth comes out, she's already far down the path, building a new emotional world without you in it. One of the most dangerous parts of female betrayal is how easily it gets rewritten in her mind. When a man cheats, he usually knows exactly what he did. He might regret it afterward, feel shame, or admit to himself that he crossed a boundary. But women rarely view it the same way. When she cheats, she often convinces herself that she was pushed into it, that it wasn't really her choice but the result of something you failed to do. She'll say, "You stopped giving me attention," or, "I wasn't happy anymore, so it doesn't really count as betrayal." By reframing it as a response instead of a choice, she removes accountability. This mental trick is what allows many women to cheat, cry about it, and still see themselves as the victim instead of the betrayer. This rationalization becomes even more powerful when combined with hypergamy, the natural instinct to seek out the best man available. When she feels like she is settled or leveled down with the man she's with, she becomes restless. If someone comes along with more confidence, more money, more influence, or simply the ability to spark stronger emotions, she feels drawn to him. It doesn't always mean she consciously plots betrayal, but her biology pushes her toward what feels like an upgrade. And in today's world, the chances for her to upgrade are endless. Dating apps, workplaces, and social media keep a constant stream of men available and waiting. This access fuels her restlessness, feeding the belief that something better is always out there. That's why women today cheat more than before. It's not just emotions, it's the combination of opportunity, temptation, and the ability to tell themselves they did nothing wrong. That mindset makes betrayal easier to repeat. The truth about women cheating is that it rarely happens all at once. Unlike most men, who cheat impulsively out of lust or opportunity, women usually plan their betrayal carefully. It begins in their mind and heart long before their body follows. She may start withdrawing her energy from you months before you even notice. Conversations become shorter, affection feels forced, and intimacy grows colder, but she doesn't argue about it. Instead, she grows calm, almost distant, because she's already receiving her emotional fix elsewhere. This is what blindsides so many men. They mistake the absence of conflict for peace, when in reality, what they're experiencing is quiet withdrawal. Society has only made this easier for her. In the past, a woman who cheated risked shame, social rejection, and even her survival if she lost her man. Loyalty was tied to necessity. Today, it's the opposite. The culture celebrates her following her heart. Friends will encourage her to leave you if she feels unhappy. Entertainment glorifies women chasing excitement and paints the man who provides stability as boring or controlling. Men who cheat are condemned as monsters, but women who do the same are reframed as victims. This imbalance has emboldened women to act on temptation without the same fear of consequences. She knows if she cheats, she can still spin the story to make herself look justified. By the time her betrayal turns physical, the truth is, the relationship has already ended in her heart. She's been building a bridge to someone else while keeping you as a safety net until she's secure enough to leave. That's why her cheating cuts so deeply. It isn't sudden. It's deliberate. It's layered. And by the time you discover it, she's already halfway gone. Being betrayed is turning all the blame inward. They ask themselves endless questions. What did I do wrong? Wasn't I good enough? Where did I fail her? But this way of thinking is poison. Her cheating is not a mirror of your worth, it's a reflection of her psychology and choices. A woman cheats not because you lack love or loyalty, but because she was restless, dissatisfied, or chasing excitement over stability. You could be consistent, faithful, and supportive, and she could still wander if her emotions led her there. Once you understand this truth, you stop carrying her actions like they are your burden. What makes her betrayal more dangerous is how subtle the signs can be. Most men see them but ignore them, because they don't want to rock the boat. She becomes more secretive with her phone, she starts spending extra time away, or she changes the way she dresses without reason. Maybe she withdraws emotionally, sharing less of her life with you while investing that energy somewhere else. Too many men silence their instincts, hoping things will return to normal, but ignoring red flags only deepens the betrayal. What men often call keeping the peace is really them training her to disrespect them. And once disrespect settles in, loyalty never lasts. The men who protect themselves are the ones who enforce boundaries early and clearly. They don't allow excuses, blurred lines, or constant disrespect disguised as harmless behavior. They demand respect not by force, but by self-respect. And when betrayal becomes obvious, they don't beg, they don't chase, they don't negotiate. They walk. Because a man who respects himself knows that leaving dishonor behind is strength, not weakness. Stop a woman from cheating if she decides to. No amount of money, attention, or devotion will prevent betrayal if her emotions carry her elsewhere. That's why living in fear of it is a mistake. The goal is not to control her, it's to control yourself. A strong man accepts that betrayal is always a possibility but refuses to let it define him. If she cheats, he doesn't beg, collapse, or lose himself. He walks. Because real strength isn't measured by how tightly you hold on, it's measured by how quickly you let go when respect is gone. Women cheat more today not because they've suddenly become worse, but because the environment shields them, opportunities surround them, and men enable them by ignoring red flags. Social media keeps her in constant reach of men eager to offer validation. Culture celebrates her chasing happiness no matter the cost. Friends cheer her on when she says she feels unfulfilled. With temptation around every corner and accountability removed, betrayal has multiplied. But the man who sees clearly doesn't panic. He doesn't cling to promises or illusions. He doesn't hand over blind trust and hope it never gets broken. He observes patterns, enforces boundaries, and keeps his mission at the center of his life. When betrayal happens, he knows it's not his loss, it's hers. Because a man loyal to himself cannot be broken. Her disloyalty exposes her, not him. And once you understand this, you stop fearing what she might do. You live aware, not naive. You love with open eyes, not blind faith. And if she cheats, you treat it for what it is, liberation. Because the man who belongs to himself is untouchable.